So today we're going to be doing a reading for a good friend of mine who is currently in India. It's a sister on the path that we are spiritually connected to each other, and she is an amazing woman, a scholar, a spiritualist. She's walking very strongly and influentially on the path of the goddess, and she's been in India for several months, studying formally and informally, performing ceremony, and just being in the goddess's arms. And she is about to transition and come back to the United States, to her husband, to her work and studies and everything else. So I promised my friend a reading, and she said that it can be just general. But I have a little feeling that, considering the circumstances, the reading will be largely about this transition and what's coming up as a result from this extensive immersion in India. I hope that you will enjoy this reading, and yeah, let's start. So today we'll be using the playing card Oracle by Anna Cortez and C.J. Freeman, which is essentially playing cards. And it's a deck that I enjoy and study quite a bit. So I'm going to focus on ground and think about my sister on the path and her transition that's coming up. And see what the cards have to tell us. So this is our first card, Fortuna. Let's close and mend the deck back. And what I'm using is actually a calendar spread. Let's shift this a little bit over here. And here's our card. So, as I said, this is a calendar spread, and every pile of 4 cards is roughly a month. It's a lunar cycle. So let's see, this pile represents what is going on today. And this is pretty cool because the position of the cards, the elements are right where they need to be. There is a balance and there is a beauty in this. So I can see that she's really moved by her experience and by the connections that she made in physical as well as spiritual realms, that she really touched something amazing. And I also know that she went there to write, I believe, her dissertation. So I feel that she really feels like she uncovered something that is incredible, that it's very potent and very magical, that she can pave with her future work. She is ready to communicate to it. In fact, she can't wait. She's like, spiritual feeling like she has this microphone that she's going to use in order to tell it to everybody else. She really feels like she's full and she wants to share. A lot of her heart is full, quite full with lots of energy, but some of this energy is confusing. I think that she is worried about how to connect that which she learned and all the overwhelming feelings that went into her spiritual practice with what she's going to find when she's going to come back home, because it's a different society, it's a different world, and some of it is just really intense, and she knows that coming back home might sort of start confusing her. Did she really experience that? Was it just in her head? And so forth. And this is the final card for the now. This is the feet of the spread, and usually this is a pretty heavy card. It's the Throne of Spades. But in this situation, it's being mended by this heart card over here. The two suits communicate really, really well. So it just tells me that she will be able to make communications around what she learned with all kinds of different people. And some of the people that she needs to communicate to might not be the most easy to talk to or her favorite people in the world, but still, because of this heart spade connection here, I see that she will be able to extricate herself from a difficult situation and be able to connect to what she needs and actually use her knowledge as a vehicle to move forward. Now, this is in the here and now. This is the fears of the transition. I can see that here in the heart, and the fears of what's going to actually wait for her when she comes back and how it's going to be different from what she experienced. So let's see. We are in the end of October, right? We have, let's say, November, December, January, February, March. I say around March time is really when things that this reading is talking about are going to come in and show themselves fully. And here we can see in the beginning when we started talking, there is sort of amazing, perfect balance. And really only after a person has been in extensive spiritual pursuit, spiritual work, you can see something like that. I think there's, it's all in the right place. There is balance between the suits and so forth. Now, when time passes and we're sort of going a little bit away from the source because, her life is over here, it's not in India and it's not in the temple, we can see that there is a difference in things a little bit. But there is still an amazing balance. All of the suits are present, which tells me that she actually is able to integrate everything that she learned over there into here. There is still going to be obstacles, but these obstacles that we were talking here before, the Throne of Spades, is reduced to smaller amount of obstacles. And for me, this is almost like people that stand in her way and prevent her to achieve what she wants in the physical world. There is going to be less of them. There's going to be some surprises that's going to switch things around. So I love this card, Fortuna here. It, she is definitely, my friend is definitely going to have some amazing ideas with her that she's going to try to implement. However, with Fortuna and the south wind over here, and I'm going to show you guys the cards. This is the south wind, this is the trickster, and Fortuna, she's the trickstress, or I don't know how to say that correctly, but both of them are very fickle and very, very changeable, full of surprises. So my advice on the situation would be, stay open to your intuition, stay open to the fact that things, even though it seems like you're really concretely writing them in stone, this is not how it's going to be, and you got to be careful about that. Also, it seems like there's going to be from a place of being able to talk and communicate, it's going to go to a place where it's going to be harder to communicate. Be careful not to ride a really high horse. Stay focused and grounded on your feet as you bring this. Yes, you did learn a lot. Yes, you did do a lot, but don't let it go into your head, because this is what this card is talking about. And really, the most amazing contribution would be if you are, bringing your knowledge and you offer it in the most humanitarian level. So be careful of presenting it in a way that you're, the best or the smartest. Even though you don't think like that, other people might, and it might discourage. But because there's spades and hearts right here, it tells me that you will do the right thing. You will approach it in the right way. And because you are showing your learnings and showing what is really truly in your heart in a more humanitarian way, it will disperse some of the challenges. Some of the challenges will continue to surround you, but some of the challenges will be sort of spread out. It tells me that in general, your experiences are going to make you more emotional. I don't know if you were thinking about that, but it brings out more sensitivity, brings out more ability to connect with people on a more deeper spiritual level, not necessarily just from the head, but also from the heart. And implementing this energy, just remember that it feels to me like you really want to make everything really concrete and everything to be solid. Remember that there's going to be surprises. Things are going to be changing. Here you're writing your paper and the wind comes from the window and everything is flying around, and you need to run around and pick all of this stuff up. So I hope this was helpful. Again, March seems to be like April, March, very potent time for you. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Thank you, my dear, and safe travels back to the United States. Bye-bye.